What's up, Itchu? For today's video, with a full Dinosaur Pokemon team. 8 years ago, I did this team, and I thought it's time for a little bit of a revamp. So we do have some new Pokemon that were introduced, like Walking Wake and Raging Bolt, which I thought would work really well on this team. Also, there were some other Pokemon which you actually can't get now, like Aerodactyl and Tyrantrum, so that sort of makes room for a couple of Pokemon maybe I didn't try out before. I've got 6 battles today, everyone. I hope you enjoyed. Now, I gotta tell you this, I did nearly an hour's narration. I narrated it and there was no sound afterwards. So this is my second narration. If you could give me a sympathy like on the video, I'm so salty right now, but I'm gonna take that salt and turn it into a W. Oh wait, Scissor just lived on 1 health. Anyway, let's get some love on the video, people. Oh, I can't believe that happened. So we've got a Rampardos lead here. So we got a Scissor living a 1 health with the Head Smash, which I have no idea how it lived that. It wasn't a Focus Sash either. My favorite Pokemon, of course, for dinosaurs is Rampardos. What's your favorite dinosaur Pokemon? Let me know in the comment section of the video. I'd love to hear. So I tried to give Rampardos moves too that suited dinosaurs, like Stomping Tantrum, Head Smash, Headbutt, and Heavy Slam. So that was as a Pachysaurus as well, which I thought works really well. So we got a Scissor swapping out here. This is a random battle too. I think the name was Warchild, and we have a Brontosaurus as Raging Bolt. Now, there are quite a few dinosaur Pokemon that you could use in this team, and I try to pick ones that, you know, closely resemble the dinosaurs or what they were. But if you've got any other ideas, put a below in the comments. I felt like my picks were, you know, they were pretty close. So we got a physical set here on Raging Bolt, of course. It's Piplush channel. And we've got a Takedown Blunder Policy set, which is absolutely terrible because simply a lot of the time it just never ever missed. So we got the Iron Treads using Earthquake, of course, but I do have some extra bulk in my EVs, which I'll tell you right now. So we got 184 in health, 252 in attack, Adamantium, and 72 in speed. So after I got my Blunder Policy, I could outspeed most things. Now came the problem. So out comes Calyrex. So Calyrex, obviously they just want to press the A button, you know, another 5 times in a row and win. But I didn't really want to swap out here because simply I didn't have much to swap into. And, you know, Calyrex is very powerful. So I had a plan to try and get around this thing. So we got a Draining Kiss on Brontosaurus, first Brontosaurus to get kissed, and that's going to faint. So it's going to have a special attack rise there. I need to get rid of this absolutely as soon as possible. So bringing in Bastiodon, which I have as Chasmosaurus. So this, I think that's pretty good. I think it resembled that pretty closely. And we got a pretty powerful attack here from Calyrex. However, I've got Sturdy Ability and Metal Burst, but the Calyrex had a Focus Sash. Of course it had a Focus Sash, so of course, it's going to be able to live and feint me with Giga Drain. So it's got lots of recovery moves, which work well with its ability. So it can get, you know, all of its health back there. So Giga Drain, Draining Kiss, and Astral Barrage. However, I do have 1 more Pokemon left, but I was like, I don't even think I'm going to live these attacks. So I've got Lapras, right? So Bastiodon was max health and max special attack. And had Sturdy and Custard Berry. Steel Beam, Ancient Power, Body Press, and Metal Burst, max health and max special attack, modest nature. This Lapras was max health, 92 special defense, and 160 defense with Impish nature. It was a 1-hit KO set, so I was like, all right, they're probably going to win. I lived on 3 health, and I got a Fissure off. I was like, oh my goodness, I was so lucky. So that got rid of the scum there. So now they actually have to work. So I'm going to put them to work now. So that is the end of Calyrex. In comes the Ceruledge. Now, of course, Ceruledge is, you know, it's definitely not using Shadow Steel. So that's the end of Lapras. So we had Lapras as Plesiosaur. That was one of the original dinosaurs that I actually used earlier on. So I thought I'd throw one dinosaur I use back into the team. Next Pokemon I got is Baxcalibur, which I thought worked well, was a Concavenator. So we got a 100% crit set here. So we got Focus Energy and Scope Lens for 100% crits on Draco Meteor. Focus Energy, Freeze Dry, and Terra Blast Steel. Had a Thermal Exchange on it too. I probably could have put ice body on there, but I didn't really have any like way to set the snob. So I had max special attack and max speed with Timid Nature. So I think they went for Terra Grass there because they expected an earthquake. And this is a tanky set with bulk up, which is interesting. So I was like, I'm glad I'm running a special set here, right? So I've got Freeze Dry. I thought, well, there's not too many times you'd be able to use Freeze Dry on a Cerulege and faint it. And it did. I was like, yes, this is awesome. So Cerulege is going to go down now. So their options are starting to slide away from them. They've lost their Calyrex, they've lost their Iron Treads, and now they're Cerulege. So I thought, they're definitely going to go back into Scissor and press A on Bullet Punch. So I was like, that's fine because I've got Terra Steel, so I can resist that Bullet Punch and I can just feint them with, a Disrespect Freeze Dry, something like that. In the Dinosaur, there were the Ice Age, and some of those dinosaurs got like frozen over forever. I don't know what the age was called there for the Frozen Age, because it's like, I know there was a Jurassic period. There's all these different periods in dinosaurs, right? So the Frozen period, the Ice Age, we're going to use there with Baxcalibur. I thought that, represented it pretty well. So that's the end of the Scissor, Disrespect Freeze Dry. Next Pokemon we've got here is Rayquaza. So I'm like, well, that's good. But I couldn't help it. I had to go for Draco Meteor because, the dinosaurs allegedly died to Meteor Strike, right? So I dropped that Draco, but it had a Focus Sash. Is it another Focus Sash Pokemon? So yeah, another Focus Sash Pokemon. That's two of them. You got to count the Scissor as well. And we're going to have a big special attack drop. So it's like Bugger. They're going to use Flamethrower. And I actually lived the Flamethrower only just. And I can finish this off now because their last Pokemon is going to be weak to Ice too. And then they salty cancel. They wouldn't have salty canceled if my Lapras went down to the Astral Barrage. They would have happily spammed the A button there. So we got a nice salty little cancel there to begin the battle. Let's get some likes on the video. Tell me your favorite dinosaur is. I want to know. All right, first battle matchup here we've got is a Iron Bundle and a Bastiodon. So I thought I'd go for Metal Burst here, expecting a water type move of some description, and both of the attacks, well, one missed and the other failed. So they're going to go for another big pump, and I'm going to go for a big dump, and that is going to live on 1 health with a Focus Sash. So another Focus Sash. I love these so much. So I've got that Custard Berry, and there's no Scumbag Calyrex this time, so I can go for any move and feint it. So I opted to go for Ancient Power here and feint the Iron Bundle. And I got a very, very important crit there, a game-changing crit, You got to watch out for those game-changing crits. Now, the next Pokemon to come out here is going to be Blaziken. So I thought, well, they might try and set up a Sword Dance, but maybe not, because this Pokemon has some pretty good, it's got Body Press, and it might do some good damage to Blaziken. So they're going to feint me too with a very, very, very important crit there too. So my next Pokemon to swap in here, it did get a speed boost. I thought, how about I go into the Raptor here, right? So Raptor can get a speed boost, and then I can go Waterfall, and hopefully I can take that out, right? That'll be really, really good. It is super effective. So we're going to go for that Waterfall. And of course, and Blaziken lived on 1 health. It lived on a raw 1 health without a Focus Sash. You wouldn't read about it. We're going to say that's a Focus Sash. So they got another speed boost there. I can go for any move to feint them from here. And I'm just going to go for a Disrespect Bite, or Drag. It doesn't really matter. I can go for a Bite, a Dragon Dance, So we're going to go for that Bite with all my might. And Blaziken is going to feint there. So I'd say they had no speed EVs and just relied on the... I think that was max health, not gonna lie. I think that was max health and max attack. So in comes my Rhydon here. This takes a lot of skill to use. I've never seen it before. I can go for Dragon Claw, outspeed, and I got the fattest, juiciest crit ever. And I took it out in 1 shot, so that was excellent. So I didn't want to have to deal with that Pokemon. It outsped everything and it hit really, really hard. So that was great. So now I think something snapped inside of them because they brought the Dragonite out and went straight for the Timmy Terra. you know they were salty after that. Like you can always see it, right? As soon as you take a Pokemon out you weren't meant to, really easy. Like the insta swapping or insta Timmy Terra. It always happens. If you know, you know. So there comes the extreme speed. from Dragonite. I thought they might go for D-Dance. So I thought, wonder if you're going to be choiced or not. So I went into the Patchy, the Rampardos, and we're going to see if we can patch up this win. We got that head smash. I thought I could go Terranor, but it might have Earthquake, or is it Choice? But it actually is Choice. So went for the extreme speed. But, you know, me being a rock type, I'm actually able to live that really nicely. And head smash just absolutely annihilates Dragonite in one shot. And that's good getting rid of that. It's a powerful, powerful Pokemon. Now, Rampardos takes a shocking amount of recall damage there and just lives. Only just. But this is where things got a little bit scary because I'm like, oh, Chen Power. That's actually, you know, that's really, really good against my team. Then they went for our Icicle Crash. I thought, huh? That was really, really risky. Why don't you just go for like Ice Shard or Sucker Punch or something? Or even Crunch, you know, why didn't it, that was weird, right? But I soon found out why they went for that. So we're going to go into the Raging Bolt here as the Brontosaurus, and I thought this is great because there's we got the electricity on the field, and I can go for the Supercell Slam, right? But unfortunately, they got a very, very lucky crit there. So I'm like, of course, now, you know, now that it's ended, I didn't get flinched. And I know this won't faint it either. So did 3/4 damage. So I reckon I would have with the, you know, electric terrain in the field. But that's how it is. That's Pokemon. So Brontosaurus is going to fall over and, you know, it's going to get pounced on by all those little raptors and stuff like that. You know how they have like big herds of, you know, dinosaurs, and they pick, you know, the strongest survive, you know. So we got that Plesiosaur sliding in. At this stage, I'm like, well, I think this is GG, you know. They're just going to Sacred Sword and end me. But then they use Recover. I'm like, what? Are they out of their mind? So they had Icicle Crash and Recover. I went for Rest because I just wanted to see what they were gonna do. Maybe try and cause a swap. But then they went Sheer Cold. I'm like, wait a second. They've got Icicle Crash, Recover, and Sheer Cold. And I was like, where's the dark move? And they had Ruination. I was like, oh. So they've got, like, they're relying on Icicle Crash just for damage, and then Ruination. Ruination is basically like just Super Fang, so it does half of your health every time it hits consecutively. So I thought they were just trying to get me onto a low amount of health and then use a weakened, shaky accuracy move there to fake me. But I wasn't going to let them. I was like, if I can get a Sleep Talk and Fissure against this, I can beat it. It's going to be difficult though because my Sheer Cold doesn't affect them either, you know, so it's going to be bad. But I'm going to have to get really, really lucky and roll a Fissure, and I've got to roll that Fissure, and then I've got to land it. So I rolled the Fissure, but you know, it didn't land it, which was a bit of a shame, but I kind of expect that. So then the Champion goes for another Recover. I'm like, homie, you've only lost a little bit of health. Why are you doing that? Now, I smelled a rat, and I had a little bit of a sneaking suspicion, but I won't reveal what my thoughts were at the moment. We'll let them play out. So I got a Sleep Talk, and of course, I got the Sheer Cold, so that's not going to do anything. I didn't really want to swap either into my last Pokemon, so they're going to go for a final Ruination. I was like, all right, well, I guess they're going to attack me next turn, because I went for a Fissure this turn. I guess they're just going to attack me and go for Icicle Crash, but then they swapped. I'm like, oh. Okay, now the Pokemon they swapped here is going to be Skeleturge. So Skeleturge is going to get fish. I guess you could say, well, I mean, crocodiles and alligators are like the oldest, well, and birds, I guess, because I know someone's going to be like, oh, bird, you know, people know you didn't put a bird on the team. I know that, you know, they're like the longest or oldest, for Pokemon or for animals. In this case, living on Earth still. But it was a Thunderfang set, so you could have blown me over with a feather there. I didn't expect that, so I just went. I didn't even think to go for Rest because I didn't think I was going to live that turn. I thought it'd just be a Torch Salt. So it is what it is, right? We're going to go into Baxcalibur. We're going to go for Focus Energy and see if we can get that Draco Meteor crit. So now they're going to go for Torch Song, which I don't know what is this battle. And they're going to get a special attack boost. So I got a Thermal Exchange, which is going to change the entire game. And I'm going to go for a Draco Meteor, and that is the end of the Skeleturge. So we got 100% crit there, which is excellent. So all that's left is Champ Power. I thought, what are you really going to do to me except for Icicle Crash? So if I go Terra Steel, that will resist the Icicle Crash, and then I can go for Draco Meteor and finish them off. So I just went for that. I was like, I'll just go for it straight up. And of course, they've got a focus sash. I was like, are you kidding me? So that's why they use recover earlier on then. No, I went for a terror earlier on. I went for a terror on my Raging Bolt, so I couldn't terror. That's right. So they went for Ruination, and we're going to finish them off there with a Disrespect Ice-Seal Crash. Or, sorry, not an Ice-Seal Crash, an Ice Move. And that's it, people. That's it. I've had enough of Focus Sashes for today. If you're enjoying the video so far, hit that like button, leave me a comment, and let's get on to the next one. Let's get it. Let's get on to the third battle. If you're enjoying it so far, if you want to support the channel, hit that like button, give me a comment what your favorite dinosaur is. Tell me about the weather, you know. I love to read your comments, everyone. Put them below there. We got a battle here. This is a Dinosaur versus Dinosaur team. And we've got a battle here against T. So we have a Meganium lead. Now, Meganium is a Patasaurus. So that's a pretty good one here. So you might be able to see lots of different dinosaurs, you know, today here. I'm having a look here. A Patasaurus. Let's see. I want to see how close this is. I could have actually, no, a Patasaurus has a long neck, right? A Patasaurus is a genus of herbivores, sauropod dinosaur that lived in North America during the late Jurassic period. Well, there you go. A little bit of flavor text there for you. So we got a body press and curse set here, which is pretty good. I'm just going for Dragon Hammer because I started going for my takedown blunder policy, but as you know, a lot of the time it just didn't miss. I think I had about 1 or 2 misses with it the entire time. So I kind of got sick of using it because it never missed and there's like way better moves to use. That's the thing when you use, I've used every Pokemon pretty much, and every Pokemon and every strategy. So it's very, very hard to come up with movesets you haven't used before. You have to really, you know, make some different ones. So we're going to bring in the Bastiodon, but instead of going for Body Press, they went for Razor Leaf. I was actually kind of hoping they'd go for Body Press because I could get my Metal Burst KO, but Razor Leaf kind of messed me over there. But they, you know, I guess they had Body Press, Razor Leaf, and Curse. Interesting set there. Maybe it was like a critting set too. Next Pokemon's going to be Torterra as Ankylosaurus, which is pretty cool. Now, that's the one with like the club on its tail that it swings around. So Ankylosaurus is a genus of armored dinosaur. Its fossils have been found in geological formations dating to the very end of the Cretaceous period. So 68 to 66 million years ago. Pretty cool. I really like dinosaurs too. So is anyone there that loves dinosaurs? You're probably enjoying this video right now. So that's the end of my Bastiodon. And it's a Mud Slap set too. That's cruel. That's very cruel. I might as well do Concavinator as well. I had a look at it typed in Converter instead, you know. Concavator. I was just going to call it Concave, but you know, might have got mixed up with that. Okay, so we got that feint there, which is going to be super good. And now we got the Patchy coming in here. So we've got one of these, which is good. Now, Patchy is sort of short. Well, it's kind. I don't think I could fit the actual full name of it. Yeah, it's called. I'm going to try and read it out. Here we go. It's a family feud here. I'm protecting my my eggs. You know, you got to get out of my territory. So we got Pachycephalosaurus. That's it. Pachycephalosaurus. Say that one 10 times. Pachycephalosaurus. Okay, I give up on 2. So there you go. Anyway, the family feud is over. Doesn't like the real like big predators like Tyrannosaurus Rex, which would be like Tyrantrum, I reckon. Doesn't the female eat the male after they mate and stuff like that? Crazy stuff like that. I know that's kind of common in some other like animal species, but they do, right? So we got the raptor coming in here, which is normal. I guess like a normal raptor. I think that's around the Jurassic period too. Let me have a look. I want to see if it's around the Jurassic period. He brought up the Ford Raptor, not the actual dinosaur. All right, so we brought up a car from I want a dinosaur, not a car, right? I wonder if that car actually has anything to do with it. Okay, here we go. Velociraptor. I guess you could say Velociraptor and Raptor. Velociraptor is a genus of a small dromaeosaurid dinosaurs that lived in Asia during the late Cretaceous epoch. I think that's how you say that. About 75 million to 71 million years ago. So this one has like wings and stuff. So I don't know I don't know how accurate that would be. I think that's descended from birds and stuff like that. But that was my head smash set. So we've got another family feud here with the Concaventanor. I think that's how you say it. Like, I haven't been the greatest of pronunciations ever, but I think I got this one, pretty close. So we both seem to be running a special attacking set. So let me read this one out. So it's sort of got that bump on the, you know how it's got that bump on its spine? Concava is a genius of, this is a long word, Rhodontosaurian dinosaur that lived in Spain during the early Cretaceous epoch. I think that means is another word for period. About 125 million years ago. So there you go. Some very, very interesting information here you're getting. So I'm teaching you about Pokemon and types of dinosaurs as well. So lots of things to learn today. So the Raptor is going to take out my Baxcalibur. Not a lot I could have done there, actually. And we're going to bring in Lapras for Plesiosaur. So Plesiosaur was in my very, very first team, but there wasn't really any other water ones I could have used outside of descendants like crocodiles and things like that. I think that was one of the only ones. It was like this massive, massive water. I think it was one of the biggest dinosaurs, out there. So we got this Twister Scumbag confusing set there with Hurricane, and I actually hit myself multiple, in confusion, and I was getting flinched as well. So I wasn't having a very nice time here. So I didn't want to die to Twister in a children's game of Pokemon, so I had to use Rest there and put them to the test with that Sheer Cold and Fissure strategy. Now, the Plesiosaur or Plesiosaurus are an order or clade of extinct Mesozoic marine reptiles belonging to the Sauropotergia. I don't think I got that right. Plesiosaurs first appeared in the latest Triassic period, possibly in the Rhaetian stage about 203 million years ago. So they're just massive dinosaurs with quite long necks that swim underwater. Really, really cool things there. So lots of cool stuff there. I don't know. Do you reckon one day someone's going to bring back a dinosaur, They've probably already done it behind the scenes. So we're going to hit this with a fissure, and that's the end of the Raptor. The Raptor was trying to reach for those eggs in the tree, and then it fell off. It crumbled off the cliff, It crumbled off the cliff. Next Pokemon, of course, is going to be Bastiodon. Oh, Triceratops. So this was different to mine. I think it was in the same kind of class, though. So Triceratops, I just want to have a look because I was like, I'm pretty sure this is kind of similar, right? So the Triceratops was a huge herbivore, ceratopsid dinosaur from the late Cretaceous period. Its name means three horns, which it gets from having three horns on its head. There we go. They are mainly found in North America, and as adults, they grew up to 9 meters long and 3 meters tall. I wouldn't want to meet that in a dark alley, that's for sure. But there you go, there's the Triceratops. It actually reminds me of a cool TV show I watched a very, very long time ago when I was, I would have been maybe 10 years old. It was called Walking with Dinosaurs. I don't even know if you could watch it anymore, but what it was about an Allosaurus, right? And it started off as these Allosaurus eggs, and then it sort of went through TV long episodes about how the Allosaurus sort of survived and then, met its fate, which was really, really cool. But I don't know, you'd have to be kind of, you probably have to be in your 30s or so to have watched that, because it was a very, very long time ago. Or, I don't know, I think it was on one of those BBC channels. Anyway, I managed to get scummed out there by a Bastiodon because it had the sturdy ability, and I got a salty wall at the end there. But it was pure content, and I hope you enjoyed that. Let's get on to battle number 4 here. This is a battle against Kottmeistern. I'm not sure. I have no idea what this team is about at the moment. But we got a Miraidon. Now, this Miraidon is going to set up light screen. So interesting, there's some sort of tanky set. So I went for Head Smash. I'm like, all right, this will take Miraidon out. And Miraidon lived. I was like, what? How did that live? It must be like max health. Some crazy bulky set here. So I went for a Disrespect Headbutt. I thought I'd go for that. And they set up a Reflect, right? No, I went for Stompy Tantrum, right? I thought the Headbutt might not kill. And I took it out. I had a Tantrum because Head Smash didn't kill, you know? So we took the Miraidon out. So it set up Reflect and Light Screen. The next Pokemon here we got is Koolidon. I get it. Oh, it's like a play on words team, I think. So we got Miraidon and Koolidon. So we don't have some sweaty sets here. We got some interesting sets. I was like, I wonder what this set's going to be. So it's going to use Substitute, trying to get that sub to get the dub, I understand. I went for Head Smash here because I needed damage. However, my Rampardos actually misses there and Blunder Policy activates. So I managed to get more activations on this Blunder Policy than the Raging Bolt set, right? I still don't know why I had 2 Blunder Policy Pokemon. I think it just worked out like that. Anyway, I seen Koolidon tighten its focus, and that's very bad because that means it's got Focus Punch, right? So Focus Punch is easily going to be able to take out, well, I mean, I'm looking at my team, I'm thinking, man, it's going to take out majority of my team, right? So I'm going to really have to press this thing for damage so it can't hide behind the sub and stuff like that. Otherwise, I'm going to get completely destroyed there. But little did I know it had a strategy to get around losing its, focus, right? That's the thing about Focus Punch. It's a powerful move, but you have to, like, dodge all attacks. So I brought in Bass and I was like, all right, this should be a slam dunk. And then it used Mud Slap. I thought it would just straight up use Focus Punch, right? So Mud Slap's pretty scummy because you can drop the opponent's accuracy and then you can hide behind the sub, get Lefto's recovery, and start punching again. So I would never do a set like this, by the way. And we got that electricity disappearing from the field, not that it really mattered at all. So it was super effective. Actually, it was 4 times super effective against my Bastiodon. So I started to try and go for Body Press, but of course, 2 Mud Slaps is, Mud Slap's sort of like my kryptonite, I guess you could say. My Pokemon kryptonite. So we got that Steel Beam here, we got that Body Press, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to go for Steel Beam, I need to get some damage on this thing, right? So I went for Body Press, and of course it missed again, like twice in a row. And now Bastiodon is going to get punched there. It's going to get taken back to the Jurassic period. So, Rampardos is extinct again, and so is Bastiodon, man. This is the dinosaur killer. Actually, couldn't Koolidon be a dinosaur? I don't know. I'm trying to think, what sort of dinosaur would it be? I don't know. I'm trying to think what it would be. What dinosaur would Koolidon? I mean, it definitely is. It definitely is it was dinosaur-like at least. It is dinosaur-like. So I brought in my Baxcalibur here. As you guys know, this is the critting set. So I went for Draco Meteor, but remember there was that light screen up there. So I actually only did a bit of damage. So I really needed to get a critical hit there. I really did need to get that crit. I guess it's you could say it's a lizard as well. A lizard, dinosaur, and also a dragon, I guess you could say, yeah. So it's definitely a reptile, right? You could say it's a reptile, but I didn't use Koolidon for that reason because I wasn't 100% sure if it was classed as a dinosaur. It's kind of hard to know because it's a dragon too, So that's the end of my Baxcalibur. I'm getting completely destroyed by this Mud Slap Focus Punch Koolidon, only on Pit Ice Channel. So the Reflector's gone, which doesn't really mean too much, except for my flinching set here, my Waterfall set, my Raptor. So I thought, all right, I need to feint this, and I need to feint it now. I'm not going to go for any status moves. I'm just going to try and feint it. I have to do that. So they're going to go for it just straight for a Focus Punch. I'm guessing hoping they'll go for a status move. At least it doesn't have Bright Powder. That would have been bad because you couldn't miss there. Even I like to run that Bright Powder and Mud Slap. I mean, I would never do that. So we got that Waterfall, and I'm going to finish off with the Dragon Claw. So that is the end of the Koolidon. Thank goodness. That took a lot of Pokemon out. I still don't really get what this team is. Alright, so next Pokemon is... Oh! I get what it is. I just clicked inside my mind what this team is. What's this team, guys? Let me know in the comment section, see if you can guess it. I'll give you the clue. Rhydon was the one that gave it away. Like, think about the first 2 Pokemon and then Rhydon. That's your clue. So Rhydon's going to go for a Rock Polish. See, the problem with that is I actually got a speed boost on my walking weight, so it's not going to be able to outspeed. If I didn't have that, it most certainly would have there. It's a shame. Rock Polish was removed on a lot of the Pokemon like Rampardos and Bastiodon and stuff too. So I like running those, like those weakness policy sets. So we got Archaloon sliding in here. I don't know about this. I was like, let's go for a Dragon Dance, because if it's got stamina, it's going to be like impossible to faint right. So it's going to use Metal Burst. So I thought, oh, maybe it's got Sturdy because it's got Metal Burst. Maybe I should just attack it now, or should I set up? But then they might attack this turn thinking that I'm going to set up. So I was like, well, I'll go for Dragon Claw. That's my strongest move. Let's see how much it's going to do, right? And yeah, it's about a 3-hit KO at best. So Draco Meteor, oh, the Meteors wiped the Pokemon out again. Oh, the Dinosaur Pokemon, damn it. So that happened again. Another Dinosaur died to the Meteors. I guess, I don't know, like, you know what I reckon? I don't know if it was, I think they would have just died out eventually to either, I'm trying to come up with a theory other than like the Meteor. Maybe they just like wiped themselves out, like through like, you know, the natural food chain and stuff. Like the big dinosaurs couldn't get a lot of food and then they died off, and then like the smaller ones are left and they died off too. I don't know. Or it was like, you know, the meteors actually, you know, a worldwide event just wiped the Earth out for millions of years. It could have been that too. Apparently that was the reason. So we had some Draco Meteors here, and it still did a lot of damage. I've got Earthquake, but I know that it's not going to faint it because this is terrible. It doesn't do enough damage. And they've got a berry here. So this berry is Salac Berry. So it's got Miracote Metal Burst with Salac Berry, and it's also got Draco Meteor too. So interesting sort of set. My last Pokemon, as you know, is Lapras. I was like, wait, I've only got 1-hit KO move. I'm cooked, right? I'm done because I can't hit any moves against them unless it's got Stalwart, which I doubt. But then its last move was Steel Beam. Like, oh, that completely saved me. So that's the end of my Lapras there. Well, the Lapras killer or counter. And we got Dondozo coming in here. So Dondozo needs a good sheer cold in the face, right? But it missed, which is very, very unfortunate. Now, Dondozo is going to have Rock Slide, so it seems to be a flinching set. But my Lapras is actually faster, so it's not going to be effective. And then I landed Sheer Cold, which was really, really good. So that took out the Dondozo, and that was Pokemon 5 down there. So the last Pokemon on their team is going to be Don, which is Groudon. Now, Groudon, I thought, well, this has got a lot of different type of moves to fight me with. I wonder what it's going to be. So it used Focus Blast. I'm like, oh, it's a special set. So, like, I don't know, Fire Blast, Focus Blast, maybe Solar Beam I had too. I wasn't 100% sure. So, Focus Blast missed. I have nothing to lose here. I'm just going to go for 1-hit KO moves. And Focus Blast, so I'm guessing it's Choiced, or Choice Specs, or Choice Scarf, or something like that. And I landed a Sheer Cold. So, I don't think I should have won that. If both of those attacks landed, I don't think I would have lived them. It would have been very, very close. All right, I don't feel like I would have lived that, because it actually doesn't have a bad special attack stat. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that team. Let me know if you can guess what it is. And let's get on to battle number 5. We've got 6 battles today. Had a little bit of break from uploading. I've been a bit busy, but we got lots of theme teams coming all this week too. So I really hope you are looking forward to that. This is a battle against Leafy, and we have a Tropius team. So 6 Tropius, which is very, very appropriate for a dinosaur team. I would say that Tropius would be a Brachiosaurus as well, or Brontosaurus, one of the two. I think Brachiosaurus and Brontosaurus are pretty similar, right? So like Brachiosaurus, like these have like a lot of weight. They weigh 46,900 kilos. Damn, that's a lot of weight, right, man? I think they might break the scales there. And they apparently their poop weighs 100 tons? That what? I don't know. Anyway, man, imagine having to clean that up. Get that. You have to get like a forklift to get rid of their poop. Anyway, some beautiful facts that you learn. We got a Tropius here, and it's like a speedy Tropius. A very, very speedy Tropius. So I thought, oh, this is good. I can go for takedown here. I can get a miss and then feint them right. But I lived on 1 health. Takedown landed, and the recoil actually fainted me. I was like, are you serious? So, you know, after this battle, I'm never using takedown again because it never, ever misses right. So that's the end of my Raging Bolt with takedown. Never, ever want to use it again. I think I released it after that. So we're going to bring in the Patchy here, and we got Tropius 1 this time. So Tropius, I feel like it definitely needs a buff of some sort or another form or something. It has had nothing since its generation, or I don't know, something to give it something, or like signature move, maybe something to do with bananas, banana or something. You know, the bananas like unpeel themselves, and then all its stat boost and an omni boost. That'd be cool. And then Tropius eats its own banana. That'd be so fun. Like it'll be so fun. Or a move that fires out bananas, like 5 in a row, that you could literally see the bananas coming out of Tropius. That would be so good. So Tropius comes in and uses Leaf Storm. That would have ended my Rampardos. But then I got a Head Smash, which missed as well. So that's going to activate my Blunder Policy. See, this is the reliable Blunder Policy Pokemon, not the Raging Bolt. So this is a Solar Power set. Now, I could not help myself. I'm like, all right, I'm going to die to Head Smash. Let's go for Headbutt Flinch. And I got one. It's like Flinch plus Solar Power equals W, right? So I was like, okay, this is good. I'll go for Headbutt again. I'll flinch, and then they'll feint to Solar Power. This is perfect, right? So it lived on 1 health. And I didn't get a flinch, but the salt never ended there. Like, watch this. This is like pure salt, right? So the Tropius got a special attack drop. I was like, all right, where's my Solar Power KO, right? And it was holding an eject pack. So it got ejected before it took that damage. I was like, that's some bullshit right there. So it got off scot-free. So we're going to bring in the Chasmosaurus now. Do we look up Chasmosaurus? Let's look up Chasmosaurus. I think it's pretty similar to like Triceratops. It's a Chasmosaurus is a genus of ceratopsid dinosaur from the late Cretaceous period in North America. Its given name means opening lizard. Okay, referring to the large opens on its frill. All right, but it looks like, to me, it looks like a Triceratops. It's pretty similar, like in the same kind of family kind of thing there. So yeah, they've got those 3 horns. And there's like another one called Torosaurus and Centrosaurus too. So and then you got Pentaceratops or something like that. So it's a lot of interesting dinosaurs. They have, they look the same, but I guess they got different families. So we got this, we got a I think it was a Dragon Dance Leaf Blade set here, and I had my Ancient Power Bastiodon here. Now this was a harvest set there, and it actually harvested a Staffberry, right? Sorry, a citrus berry, not a staff berry. You know, all the berries are very similar. You get what I mean? They're very similar. So we got that Leaf Blade and that Ancient Power combination. So I'm spamming Ancient Power. I'm trying to get a boost on all of its stats, right? Because that means Body Press will be powerful. Well, not so much against Tropius, but like against any other Poké, right? Now, with the Tropius team, I figured they'd have to have something like Terra Steel, right? Or Terra Fire, or maybe Terra Water. So this was interesting. So I went for Ancient Power, and this was a Leech Seed Tropius. So that made it a 3-hit KO instead of a 2-hit KO. Unless unless that hit was minimum damage or I got a critical hit, I might be able to get around it in 2 hits, right? So I was looking at my PP here. We had 3 PP left on Ancient Power. So I went for that. I was like, all right, here we go. Let's get that W. And Tropius is going to be eating a berry. Now, this one had a Staff Berry. So Staffberry randomly raises a stat by 2 stages, and they use the Forbidden Healing move as well. So that was actually super lucky because that got rid of the boost, the Ancient Power boost that I got earlier on. And it also made them quite bulky on the special defensive side. So this turn, I'm going to have a Custep Berry. It's like, I'm not going to die to Leech Seed, right? I'm going to go out with a bang. So I got that Custep Berry. There's a lot of berries being used right now. And I went for Steel Beam. I was like, I'm going to feint myself, release myself with that Leech Seed, and gets as much damage as possible. But, you know, Steel Beam did donkeys there thanks to the Starberry. Now, funnily enough, the Tropius used Spite there. So Spite would have, if I use Ancient Power again, Spite would have actually depleted the last PP. And, you know, you don't want to have your PP depleted, you know. You want plenty of PP. So bringing in the Baxcalibur now, we're going to go for a Freeze Dry. This is sort of like my strong Pokemon, for like my counter for their team. But I didn't want to bring it in early because I figured they just bring in their counter Terra and Feint me, you know. If I had a Tropius team and I'd know that I'm 4 times weak, I'd have something in the back like a Fire type or a Steel type or a Ground, something, you know, or something to get or Fighting type, something to get around it. So Tropius 69 is going to Feint there. So actually, its Tropius Shiny is like a little bit lighter. It's not too much different. And their last Pokemon is Tropius 5. Now, we haven't had a Terra yet, so my guesses here is like Terra Steel, which would be a good one, Terra Water, Terra Fire. I don't think there's any other Terras that would be good for that. So it turned out to be Terra Fire. So I went for Freeze Dry. It's got to do donkeys, right? So this is a Dragon Pulsing Tropius. You know, it even gets a Dragon move, which is cool. You could have... You know, you could have Tropius as a dragon, probably not a dragon and grass, but that'd still be 4 times weak to ice. I'm trying to think of some, what different form when you give Tropius? I think it could work as a dragon. I reckon it could. I feel like it would need to keep its grass type though, because it literally has big leaves and bananas on it. So maybe grass and dragon could be another form. So it's going to go for a Disrespect Terra Blast there with my Thermal Exchange, and that's the end of Bastiodon. There wasn't much I could do. I have a feeling this might be... That was kind of tanky too. I don't think I used Draco Meeting. No, I think that's an Assault Vest set. Like, it's quite tanky. So I brought in my Walking Wakey and I thought, well, this won't be, you know, in the team preview, I'm like, well, this is not going to be very useful against Tropius. You know, they're all grass type. So this is like one of the few times that I can actually use it and use Waterfall here. So I'm going to go for the Waterfall there, and that's going to be enough to take out the Tropius being a Fire type. I thought it'd be completely useless. I thought I might just swap it in as a sack or something like that, but it actually was useful for a Fire type. Anyway, that is the end of the battle. Hope you enjoyed the full Tropius. Seemed very appropriate for all these dinosaurs. I think I'd have that as Brontosaurus or Brachiosaurus, one of those 2 long neck sort of Pokemon. All right, we got our 6th and final battle here, and to finish it off, we have got another Dinosaur versus Dinosaur team. I wonder what dinosaurs they're going to bring. So we got Ceratops. Oh, okay, so we had, interesting, so we had all different kinds of dinosaurs, well, family. So I had the Chasmosaurus, and then before it was the Triceratops, and now we have this one here, the Ceratopsia. So we had all different 3s. Funny how that kind of worked out. So seems to be an Ironhead Flint spam set, and that really destroyed my Rampardos there. Wasn't much I could, even do. So we're going to go into my own Chasmosaurus, and it's another family. It's a rumble in the jungle, you know. I guess this Pokemon sort of fights with its head, uses its like big like horns and rams into things, you know. That would actually like probably cripple a dinosaur. Like if it ran into its leg, it would like break its leg and stuff. I guess that was a thing, like, dinosaurs would get injured and they just, like, fall over and die. Or they go into those, like, swamps, like those, I don't know, like those quicksand, and they die in there, too, and then get eaten by those, what's those flying dinosaurs called? Starts with P. Something, you know, the ones with the big beak and the long wingspan, you know, and they swoop in. I was gonna do that for, like, Archeops or Aerodactyl. It's like Pesaurus. I forgot what it is. Anyway, so we got another dinosaur, Sceptile. Wait, I think I did this in my very first team. So sliding into the Brontosaurus is, you know, as you do, and Sauropod. Okay, I must have done this. I think I did this on my first team. If you'd like to check out my original dinosaur team too and see what I picked there, check it out, people, because I'll leave it in the description of the video if you've never watched it, if you're more of a newer viewer, or you're an older viewer and you just want to go back and, and check it out. You should. I'm going to check it out myself too. It'll be funny what I actually, picked there. So Sauropod, I think we looked at this already. Sauropod, whose members are known as sauropods, is a clade of Saurischian dinosaurs. They're very long necks, long tails, small heads, 4 thick pillar legs. Well, there you go. So very, very similar sort of stuff there. And I think most of them had like tiny brains and stuff like that, I don't know what dinosaur had the biggest brain. I don't think it was T-Rex. It was like, I don't know. Maybe some of the later ones had bigger brains. Probably like the smaller dinosaurs. They were like really swift and stuff. So we've got a 1 HP lift, another one, and looks like we were all thinking the same sort of thing, running a special Baxcalibur. So that's the end of my Baxcalibur there. And I've only got 2 Pokemon, so I got to come in clutch here. So I'm bringing in the Raptor. I thought, well, I've got the speed boost. I can now finish off with Bite, which is going to be really good. Now, I hope when I end this narration too, that I don't look at the screen and see an empty narration, because I don't think I can narrate this for a 3rd time today. Like, I'm gonna lose my voice, right? So that's the end of that. We got the next Pokemon is Brachiosaurus. All right, so I had Brontosaurus, Brachiosaurus. Very, very similar, right? They both eat leaves. I think they like knock down trees as well. They knock down trees. They do lots of deforestation. So they landed a raw zap cannon straight off the bat there, and I got paralyzed. So that's going to be the end of the Raptor's speed there. It's going to be stepped on by the Brachiosaurus, I guess. When the little dinosaurs or the carnivores tried to attack the big herd of, herbivores, I guess, they commonly get injured and stepped on and stuff. Then they tried like pick on the weak one, the old and weak one. I actually played a game too. I don't know if I mentioned this before. It was when I was quite young. It was a Game Boy Color game, and it was called Disney's Dinosaur. I don't know if anyone's ever played that before. Probably not. I don't think it was a very popular game or very good game either. But I do remember playing it. It was really, really hard. I did pass it, but it took ages. It was just some like BS. It was like very, very janky, the controls and stuff like that. But I don't know if anyone's ever played that before. I think there was one on PlayStation, but this one was actually on Game Boy Color, and of course it was very, very different. So I went for the Terra Ground to get away from a Paralyzed, but they paralyzed me with a Dragon Breath. You wouldn't read about it. So I was in a position here where I needed to land a Scumbag Sheer Cold off there, and I needed to also get the rest off. So I went for the rest, and now I could just hope that I land a Sheer Cold or a Fissure. The only bad thing about this was if I went for Sheer Cold, I wouldn't be as accurate, because obviously, I'm not going to get the accuracy anymore, but I really had to for the Zap Cannon. So here comes a Pachysaurus. Now, I have no idea what this is going to be. Is it going to be a hard physical hitter? Or is it going to be, it could even be a special set, you never know. I do know Rampardos gets Endeavor as well, so I was like, oh, that would be bad. If I took, another Focus Sash, right? We've had a lot of them today. Imagine a Focus Sash, Endeavor, then it fainted me. That'd be very, very bad. So I go for Sleep Talks here. I'm sleeping at the moment, and I'm hoping I can land Sheer Cold. But I got quite unlucky against this Rampardos, because I missed a lot of attacks. So it's going to go for Ice Beam. I think that's a Sheer Force Rampardos. I've run one of them like a special set, very, very difficult to run. But surprisingly, it gets all kinds of really cool special. I think it gets like Thunderbolt, Fire Blast, Ice Beam. I have no idea why it gets those moves for, but it does, I guess maybe because it's a dinosaur and I don't know, maybe they feel like, oh, it's experienced these different weather conditions and stuff like that, and they can learn these, Ice Age or thunderstorms, wildfires, stuff like that. Maybe that's why. So we're going to Terra Electric set. I'm not sure why they went Terra Electric, because they can't use an electric move on there. I'm just going to go to sleep here. Thank goodness I only just got that, that rest off. And we got, I see. So it's got Ancient, maybe it's not Sheer Force. No, I don't think it's Sheer Force because it's using Ancient Power. So I'd say it's... maybe it was Mold Breaker. I didn't see Mold Breaker. It didn't actually pop up. Maybe I missed the Mold Breaker. So it's probably a Mold Breaker special there. So I managed to get a Sheer Force off there, and I took out the Rampardos, who one hit, which is excellent. So no scummy Ancient Power boost there. I couldn't stand it, right? So that's down. We got the Brachiosaurus left, and we got one else. Oh, we got Theropod? Oh, that must be something like a raptor as well. Theropod. Okay. Okay. Theropods first appeared during the Carnian age of the late Triassic period, 231 million years ago. That's almost as old as me, and included the majority of large terrestrial carnivores from the early Jurassic until the end of Cretaceous. About 66 MA. I don't know what MA means. Millennium? I don't know. Including the largest terrestrial carnivorous animals ever, such as Tyrannosaurus Rex. So there you go. And it's got them depicted as having beaks and stuff like that. But they're raptor-like, you know. They're raptor-like. So I'm trying to get a W here with Fissure, and it lands. So once again, I think that's the second one I've used Fissure on. So another raptor got, taken out by, that was an earthquake that time, because I guess they had earthquakes and, volcanoes and stuff like that. Very, very harsh conditions. So the last Pokemon is the Brachiosaurus. I don't think it can do much outside of Dragon Breath. I'm like, okay, this is good. All I got to do is go for Fissure, or maybe I should go for Rest. I was like, I'll go for Rest there. So the moment they could use Dragon Breath again and paralyze me, they did. That's 2 out of 2 in a row there. But I managed to get the Rest off, which is very, very good. Like, I would have been incredibly salty there if I couldn't attack. Because that's 2 out of 2. What's it like? 30? I think it's 30% chance, Dragon Breath. I'm very, very certain that Dragon Breath is 30% chance. Yeah, 30% chance to paralyze. So I'm going to be sleeping here. All I need to do is get one move off there, one attacking move. Because Dragon Breath is like a 4-hit KO. But if I get paralyzed while I'm awake, it might be like, it might be game over, because if I get paralyzed twice, that would be it, right? And they've had a pretty good track record at paralyzing me so far. So I'm sleeping this turn. I'm like, I need to land this turn. Should I go for Rest the next turn if this one does miss? That would be bad. And I was like, maybe I should, because I got paralyzed last time. Or do I take the risk and just go for a Fissure or a Sheer Cold, right? So another Dragon Breath. I'm going to wake up this turn. Now, instead of going for Rest, I just attack them, and Fissure is going to take another Pokemon out. Another Dino went down to that. Hope you enjoyed today's Dinosaur Pokemon team. If you did, drop a like, leave me your favorite dinosaur, give me a sympathy like for narrating this twice, and I'll catch you tomorrow for some more videos. Finally, please be working after this. Peace out.